What's up, YouTube? So it's been about 5 years since I posted my last video of a 1971 240Z. I figure it's time to start making some content. So I can't do this full time. I'm doing some other things on the side, plus I have a full-time job, but we'll see what happens. If you guys subscribe or you like what you see, let me know. Basically, the content I'm going to produce, I'm going to show you how to fix these cars on a budget. Not a budget with pennies, with Chinese parts. I'm talking about a budget where you get the right parts for the right price and you install them yourself. You'll save about 70% cost versus going to the dealer. I definitely don't drive this as a status symbol, so it's not going to be showing off. That's not going to be my channel. I'm going to show you guys how to fix these cars and drive them and enjoy them. In the future, I will probably be buying like E46 M3s, E30s, kind of more high-profile cars, M cars and whatnot. And I'll show you guys what I know about them, make some fun content and whatnot. But for today, I'll just talk to you about this. So N54. N54 is the motor that's in here. A lot of people have opinions on this engine, okay? Now, some people will say it's a piece of shit. Some people will say it's a great motor. Some people will say it's so-so. My opinion is this is a great motor. It's a great motor, but it needs a lot of maintenance. I bought this car with 60,000 miles. It's got 91,000 miles. It's spent its whole life in Phoenix, 120-degree summers. Running a stage 1 tune, 93 octane. It's kind of lived a hard life, but it's still running and ticking along. The one thing that's really bad on these, and you have to watch out for, is the ignition system and the injection system. So I'm not going to get into what's in direct injection versus common rail in this video. But all I'm going to say is basically with this car, you have got two turbos over here. They're fed down into an intercooler. The air is blown over the intercooler, cools the intake charge, goes in through here, goes to the intake manifold, and gets shot into the motor with pressurized. That's essentially how a turbo works. You're pressurizing the intake manifold. You're creating a bigger explosion, more power, okay? Things I've dealt with in this car, carbon buildup. I've done these twice already. Once when I got it at 60,000 and one at 91,000, and they were pretty bad, okay? And in Phoenix, if you guys have been around there, you're doing 95 miles an hour the whole time. It was all highway, so I would say anybody who's doing stop and go traffic, you should probably do your valves every 15 to 20,000 miles if you want peak performance. Other than the intake valves, I've changed cylinder 5, 6, 5, and 4 index to index 12 injectors. These is index 8, 7, and 7. I got these at the junkyard. Yeah, I know, junkyard. But listen, this is what I'm trying to explain to you guys. If you want to do these cars, you're going to pay money. If you want to try to cheap out, it may hit you in the end. But these injectors I got here, I tested them, bench tested them, they don't leak. All right, I got 6 of these. I figure probably in the future I'll probably get index 12s, but for now, since these aren't leaking, I'm just gonna leave them alone. If something's not broke, don't fix it. The other thing I've replaced, and I really didn't need to, is I purchased 6 new coil packs. These are the BMW ones, and new spark plugs from FCP Euro. And the reason why I use FCP Euro for all my purchases is because I can return those and get brand new ones because they're lifetime warranty. Okay, and these need to be replaced about other 15 to 20,000 miles. Now this car has led me through a couple odysseys. One is the injectors. When I first bought it, the previous owner did a little trick on me. He had the car in a learn mode. So in a learn mode, basically the map is relearning all the fuel trims and stuff. So when I first bought this car, it drove fine for a week. and then it started misfiring really bad, and it started blowing out black smoke. I diagnosed those the last 3 injectors to be bad. Okay, replaced those, car ran beautiful. I tuned it stage 1, looked at all of the fuel trims, looked at all of the load and everything. The coolant temps were fine. I drove it for about 20,000 miles that way in Phoenix. Didn't have any issues. Before I moved here to Oregon, I did replace all the injectors and coil packs. All of the spark plugs and coil packs. This car is leak free. Other than that, really haven't had much problems with this car. I know there's a lot of other YouTube channels. There's a Nathan's DIY Garage. There's Simply Car Things. They talk a lot about BMWs. I'm going to talk about them in a way that you're going to be able to just fix them. And kind of unbiased, right? Because some of those guys are sponsored. Some of them aren't. I don't think Nathan's DIY Garage is sponsored, but some of them are sponsored. So they're required to say things. I'm not. I don't want to be sponsored. I just want to tell you how it is, and that's it. So, other than the coils, a few injectors, I already did the belt, that's routine maintenance. I haven't even done any brakes yet on this car. Other than that, I haven't really done anything other than stage 1 tune 93 octane. I did change the O-rings in here, the diverter valves. Okay, I went with thicker O-rings, but that's all over the internet. Everybody knows about that. I do have the stock charge air pipe. The reason why this one's not breaking is because it's got a rubber end at the end, and it allows it to move up and down. So that's the thing. Any car that was built after, I think, 2009 or 10, this part was solid plastic, and whenever somebody went stage 1, it would crack. But this one's a 2008. It's an older model, 2006, 7, and 8. They use one with a rubber end here. So when you're running high boost, this thing is allowing it to expand a little bit and doesn't crack under there. So haven't had any problems yet. Like I said, if it's not broke, don't fix it. It's not broken. It's not causing me any problems. I'm going to leave it. Okay? Do a quick turnaround on this car. It has Lamborghini paint. It's not the best. It's not a wrap. There's a couple fish eyes in there and stuff, but it's not bad. It's definitely not bad. Got decent interior still. And I did install an M steering wheel. This was like $100. So this car for the past 6 months has been giving me some problems, and basically I'm gonna make another video and I will go through the process of trying to figure out what's going on. I'm basically on cylinder 1, which is this one here. When I start it up in the morning, I get kind of a rough idle, kind of hiccups a little bit, and I did replace those injectors already. So before you guys say, oh, it's an injector, no, the injectors are done, and I did the carbon blasting, and I changed the plug and coil. So what's left? Now hopefully it's not compression, but that's probably what I'm going to be looking at. So I'm going to do a quick compression test, and then we'll go from there what that cylinder is reading. I actually probably do a compression test on this one and this one, just the adjacent cylinders. I could do all 6, but I'm not having any problems with those, so I'm gonna leave those. Other car I have is I do have an X5. It is a diesel. I purchased this car about a couple months ago. Put some niche wheels on there. This car will probably be in some later videos. 130,000 miles, bought it with 129. Believe it or not, this thing I get about 29 miles per gallon if I feather the gas and I hypermile, but pretty good for a diesel. This car, I would say, probably more reliable than this one. accept the emission stuff on this, which I haven't had any problems yet, but the day that I do, it's going to get deleted. End of story. But this car makes tons of power. Okay, this car is deceivingly fast. I mean, it's not the fastest car I've ever rode in or driven or owned, but this car is deceivingly fast. And what I mean is that you could be going 120 and you don't even feel it. So I wouldn't recommend any young guy driving this thing. Definitely going to get in trouble. But really fun car. Anyway, so that's the intro of my YouTube channel. And like and subscribe. So I'll be posting content once a week. And I'll be looking forward to seeing any suggestions or comments on what you want to see. Thanks.